Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 20 of the Next Gen Bets podcast.
That's a nice one. That's a
That
nice
is,
simple one.
it is Super Bowl weekend officially. It's been a couple weeks since we've had a football podcast. We didn't talk about the Pro Bowl. Fuck the Pro Bowl. But it's Super Bowl weekend, the big game. We got Kansas City. I'm sure I don't have to explain the fucking matchup, but it's Kansas City playing Philadelphia. We all know. If you're rooting for Kansas City, you're kind of a fucking op and you hate football, in my opinion. That's probably Kyle. Uh, I did accidentally shoot him in the foot.
It's definitely me.
But I'm not rooting for Kansas
It's
City.
definitely
Fuck
me.
Kansas City. Go Eagles, but go Birds, as they might say. Yeah, there it is. There it is. That's
No,
exactly what
no
they would do.
bird.
That's exactly what an Eagles
A
fan would do.
no-fly zone.
Oh, no fly zone?
A
Yeah, no.
no-fly zone.
Yeah,
He's
no.
gonna, yeah,
They'll be flying, all right.
right into a wall.
Yeah, no. Saquon's gonna be flying.
No, we're gonna hate on
Actually, we're
Saquon.
fading that.
We're gonna hate on Saquon. But my one point that I wanted to say to everybody is everyone's been complaining past 2 weeks about the matchup. Seeing the Chiefs again, seeing the Eagles again, seeing a rematch. We need to stop that. It's the Super Bowl. We watched football all season. I heard a guy at the gym say I had a horrible gym experience, by the way. Maybe we can get into that at the end of the episode. But a guy at the gym in a Bills sweatshirt was talking about how he's not watched the Super Bowl this year. It's like, don't be that guy. You watch football all season, watch the last game of the season because we're all gonna miss it in these coming months. We're all gonna miss football. So this is the last game. As much as I hated the national championship, I watched every minute of it, and it was a good game. Um, Same with this. Not a huge fan of the matchup. I do like how there's a lot of numbers that indicate ways we can make money this fine Sunday, but don't be the guy that, oh, I'm not gonna watch it because it's the teams I've already seen before. Don't be that guy.
Yeah, and also we know you're bullshitting because you're gonna fucking watch it. Because who doesn't watch the Super Bowl? I think it's one of
There's
those.
nothing else on. There's
If you
nothing.
appreciate sports, even people who don't appreciate sports watch the Super Bowl. So if you're a fan of sports, you're watching the Super Bowl, whether you like it or not, it's going to be on your TV and you're going to watch the whole game. And so those people saying that they're not going to watch it because the Bills lost or because
They're just trying to get attention.
yeah, they're going to watch it. Trust me, don't worry about it. But you know, I like you said, well, opposite of what you said, I enjoyed the national championship for a little bit because Notre Dame was in it. I don't enjoy the end result. It's already been a rough. How long ago was it? Almost exactly a month ago, I think.
Yeah.
It's been a rough month. Letting Ohio State fans just be able to talk so much shit because they're national champions. They're just delusional as fuck. Um, they seem to think they're going to be the same team. With all the coaching that they've lost because Ryan Day was calling the plays, not Chip Kelly, apparently. Fucking idiots. But we're not going to open that can of beans, all right? Because it's the Super Bowl. And um, trying to think. I don't think very many Ohio State people are playing in this fucking Super Bowl because they're ass, so it doesn't matter.
Ohio
Uh,
State actually, Ohio State hired Brian Hartline as head, offensive coordinator. I'm a big fan of that move. Just saying.
yeah, I'd be a big fan if that college
Good.
closed. That'd be something cool. I'd be really happy about that. Like if that college were to just shut down for if weird allegations were to get out and force that college closed, I probably wouldn't be that upset, honestly.
No,
And it'd be
no, but
something
Brian
cool for us to
Hartline's a
talk
good
about,
guy.
which would be awesome.
Former Dolphins receiver. I actually had his jersey when I was like 6, and then prior to the 2020 draft, I made a Tua jersey out of duct tape. But since I had a Brian Hartline Dolphins jersey, I used the H and made a Herbert one. So I was ready for. Actually, I made a Watson one too. I was ready for whatever happened during those Dolphin fighting times when we needed a quarterback.
Yeah, and that shows the dedication out of Kyle. It's time for the
I was
Dolphins
ready.
for that kind of dedication to Kyle. But whatever.
I
We're getting
also
off
had.
topic already, and it just started. We
There's
just started
well,
this episode.
there's not many ways to use teal duct tape besides duct tape a Miami Dolphins
What are
jersey.
you buying Keel duct tape for, first of all?
To duct tape a Miami Dolphins
Oh,
jersey.
that was the only purpose behind
That
it.
was the only purpose.
Is that
There's
all it was used for as well, or was it used for multiple uses?
no, because I had a white roll to make the letters, but I had to use the teal to like block out the current name. I had
Yeah.
like three Mike Wallace jerseys, so I'd block out Wallace and the numbers, and then use the white on top of the
I have
teal
a
to.
picture of it or a video. I'll have to find a picture or a video.
I still might be like that in the closet.
If I can find a picture of it, I might
Yeah.
slap it on here so everybody can get a visual idea of what you're talking about. If I remember. But yeah,
Everybody knows what a duct tape jersey is. Any
no,
real
I know, but
fan
they
has
need to
been through those
appreciate your
eras.
fucking art. Like, I'm not saying they don't understand what a duct
Oh,
tape jersey is, but you made it art. You didn't just slap
I
duct
did
tape
have an
and block out the
Exacto
numbers.
knife.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
bought an Exacto knife for this.
Yeah, you put some effort and pride into what you do. It's great.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Well, all right, let's get into this. We got a good list here. And we'll start with my least favorite. So I'll be full honest with you. I didn't really want this one to go through. I bet under 49.5 for the game, one full unit at Rivers. The reason for this was we were doing arbitrage bets, and Rivers is the biggest op when you do arbitrage bets. They wouldn't let me bet more than 87 cents on, I think it was Shea Gilgeous-Alexander to score 33 points. And that he's a normal NBA player. Like this isn't like Jonte Porter bets, like a normal NBA player that everybody bets on. They wouldn't let me bet over $1 on him. So I'm like, let's see if they'll let me bet on the Super Bowl. I'm like, this was early, like before I looked at anything, so I was like, the under is safe. Like, you're never gonna be too mad when you bet the under. So I did the under to see if it'd go through, and it went through. So that's why this one's there. I really have no reasoning for this. Besides, we are gonna be hating on a lot of player props, so I guess less points would equate to poor player prop performance. But there's no like special numbers besides I was seeing if the book would let me do it.
It kind of just shows how, I mean, I don't know what other states Rivers is in besides New York, but I'd assume,
Pennsylvania.
yeah, it was two dog
It's
shit states.
I know
So
there's a Rivers Casino in Chicago too. I don't know if Illinois has the sports
Illinois
book, but
kind of has too. So we're just adding up, you know what I mean? So New York's probably at the top of the list of being dog shit in that list of dog shit states. So because New Jersey's not in the list. If New Jersey was in the list, they'd be number one. I just can't. Don't. All right, let's move on.
all
Anyways.
right. Next bet, Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown minus 115 on FanDuel. FanDuel has a special that you opt into. You get your bet back again, I believe, if this player scores the first or last touchdown, and along with some other bonus that they got going on. And I think Jalen Hurts is the better pick than Saquon, especially that last touchdown and maybe even the first touchdown. But if it's, tight situation, you know what the Eagles are doing, and they're going to squeeze them in the end zone. They're probably going to do it, throughout the game. Could see them do it twice like they did before. This is their go-to play. This is what makes them unwatchable, in my opinion. And it makes me, no, I shouldn't say unwatchable after the rant we just had, but makes me dislike them and dislike watching them on my television. But
What player are you talking about specifically? I'm just curious.
Jalen Hurts.
No, yeah, that's not a play. That's a player.
Oh, the play?
Yeah, what's the play that you're
Push
talking
push.
about? Oh, the touch push. You don't like that?
Quarterback sneak that they do every
No,
time.
I know what it is. I was just
Yeah.
trying to get you to say exactly what play you're talking about for the
It's
fan.
it's like when you play Madden and there's like the cheat play that when you're playing a kid that always uses like one cheat play.
Oh yeah,
And
it's like playing Caden on Madden.
yes.
Yeah,
But
he's got
it's
one fucking play that just works, and he just pulls that out.
imagine doing this in real life. And it's
Yeah.
not even like a play that like has a counter. Like sometimes the trick play man, it's like, oh, either somebody scores a touchdown, you bait it into a pick six. It's just it's just boring. It's rugby. It's whatever you want to call it. But it might get us a nice bet in Jalen Hurts scoring a touchdown. All right, next, we were doing this the other day. Um, we're fading passing yards. We're going to continue to fade Jalen Hurts, full unit on his under 211 yards. Just a lot of running in the Super Bowl. Time's going to keep going. Hurts is probably going to rush for a touchdown. Saquon's probably going to get a lot of carries. I prefer to have the under hit. I really just don't think Hurts passing is that good. And I want to say, at least it's been the case in the past couple of years, Kansas City's defense tends to be stronger in their secondary. And the Eagles are definitely more of a run heavy team. I think everybody agrees on that. And then we're going to go into a half unit on Patrick Mahomes is under. We've just kind of been fading the quarterbacks in these playoffs, and it's been doing us pretty solid so far. So we're going to really just keep it going for the Super Bowl. And the reason being with Mahomes is we're going to take his over on rushing yards. It's at plus, we're taking alt line 40 rush yards. It's plus 195 at FanDuel. So we're going to bet a half unit. We're going to bet to win a full unit. It's slightly over a half unit to win a full unit. So a little bit of math there, but I think there's good value on this one. We see every playoff game, Mahomes tends to run more. He'll have like one big 20-yard scramble. And if they're gonna, we know Philly's defense likes to pressure the quarterback. They're gonna force him into the pocket, and then he's gonna take off if nothing's there. He's gonna be running around. He's gonna be getting rough in the passer penalties. It's just what's gonna happen. It's the way he plays, and it's the way the defense plays. Philly's defense is kind of disciplined, if you will. Like we've seen him have questionable hits and get away with calls like a hold on Saquon Barkley in that Washington game. But can see Mahomes scrambling, can see him sliding, can see him getting hit in the head, and can seeing the internet go nuts when there's a 15-yard penalty thrown for it. Just could see it happening.
But if they hit him hard enough in the head, I'm not going to be fucking complaining on the internet. I might be celebrating on the internet.
Yeah, and then we can get the Carson Wentz revenge game.
Exactly. Exactly, which would be sick. I'd rather watch Carson Wentz win it. Hey, if Carson Beck, or no, fuck me. Fuck Carson Beck, though.
Yeah,
Um,
no. Yeah.
if Carson Wentz were to walk out onto that field, I'd automatically start rooting for the Chiefs.
Dude, same with the Eagles. If Kenny Pickett gets in, I'm losing it. I'm rooting for Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, see the thing is I'd be a little pissed off that Patrick Mahomes is still going to get a ring, even if he didn't win it. Um, because like Carson Wentz would win it. But I'd
Yeah, but
rather
Wentz
watch
get
Carson
his
Wentz play a
third, I
football
believe.
games.
He had third ring for Wentz.
Yeah, well, he was on it last year, right?
Yeah, and then he was on the
And then he was
Eagles.
on the Eagles team that won it. So he's never won it as a starter, even though he
No.
brought his team there as a starter.
Oh, he
Um,
brought him to the playoffs. He didn't do the playoffs, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, well, yeah, he got him into the playoffs as a starter, and then Nick Foles did the rest. That doesn't have to be explained. But I think Carson Wentz is a lot more
This is
likable
like a
than
bold take. Bold take, real quick. Carson Wentz to me is like the football version of Derrick Rose. And he didn't have as many repeated injuries, but the run he had as a young player uh that season, like they were the number one team with him, and like everybody feared them. And then they for them to win without him, I don't know, it kind of just proved how good like the system they had created there was. And then just to never be successful anywhere really again. And just the different teams. Like we saw a little bit of a resurgence in him in Washington and Indy, kind of like we saw Derrick Rose go to Minnesota and New York. It's a little different, but kind of the same.
I'm following you. I'm not going to
Yeah.
disagree.
Yeah. So anyway, that was Mahomes rushing 40 yards. Like that. Good. That's our value play. Highest odds we got here. Um, and then we still have the Kansas City to beat Philly exacta from last week. So me being me, I wanted to arb this or hedge it, whatever you want to call it. That's what I did for this one. Just because I don't know, it makes me feel smart, but then I'm gonna go ahead and bet Kansas City money line. So you could just leave it. You could do that and not bet Kansas City money line. But I took Chiefs. I arbed that one, the exacta just cause. Um, makes the books easier in my opinion. And then I bet on Kansas City money line, just one unit on Kansas City money line. I got it at minus 115. It was 115 on Caesars and it was like 120 everywhere else. So make sure to look into that. And I was thinking about making it a 2 unit play because there's a lot of numbers to support the Chiefs winning this game. Mahomes is 17-3 straight up in playoffs. He's 8-2 against Vic Fangio, or 8-0 against Vic Fangio defenses, 6-2 against the spread versus Vic Fangio. But we're just talking money line here. And in Super Bowl rematches between coaches, the previous winner is 4-0. This is the fifth version of it. Obviously, Sirianni and Andy Reid were in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. So just so many numbers to go with the Chiefs, which is why everybody's mad, like Connor. And I would make this a 2 unit play, but the big thing we are jumping on this game is the Chiefs struggle in the first half. So in Kansas City's 0-4 in their first half Super Bowl appearances in all four of them, but they're 29-0 when they lead after the first quarter. So what we're predicting here is Philly to win the first half, Kansas City to win the second half. We're taking Kansas City money line, like I said. We're looking to add another unit on Kansas City money line at halftime if they are trailing, like we expect them to be. We're taking Philly three-way money line in the first half, and we're taking Philly over 12.5 points in the first half. And then to go with Kansas City winning the second half, we're taking Kansas City minus 1.5 at plus 115 in the second half, and over 1.5 touchdowns plus 114 in the second half. So really, um, pretty specific way that we need the game to go for all these bets to go in our favor. But the game makes sense. The numbers back up the trend. The Eagles tend to start hot. Kansas City loves to finish strong and actually win games. So that's the trend we're betting on. And then we also have Saquon under his 110-yard rush prop. This one's just a half unit because it is Saquon and he does go crazy all the time. But in the last 20 Super Bowls, running backs have only gone over 100 yards 5 times, and his line is well over 100 at 110.
It is. You threw a little dig at me, not rooting for the Chiefs there. All right.
I
I didn't
did.
appreciate
I
it,
did.
but
You
it's
did it earlier.
because I don't like the fucking Chiefs. All right. I did do it earlier. That's fair.
You started with that too.
I did. That's on me, guys. I started the beef. I started the drama. I'm just sick of the shit. You know what I mean? I sound a lot like every other person right now. All right, which pisses me off because I don't normally like that. But it's just fucking boring. Like fuck. This year we
No,
had a
I get it, but
quarterback.
it's still wild to me that people hate on like something that's never happened before happening.
See,
Like
if there was a more likable human being that is behind that center, I'm totally rooting for the three-peat.
see, I believe
That's the
that.
thing.
Like I understand people saying that, like because they are unlikable, but I feel like people see somebody winning and they hate.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, no, because I am like that. But like, I'll be happy for like Andy Reid. I'll be really
Yes.
happy for Andy Reid. I like Andy Reid a lot. I like Travis Kelsey quite a bit. I like him. Drew Tranquil, my dog, their linebacker.
Yeah, Kelsey was really cool in his media day. Like there's a couple like dickhead reporters trying to like bait him into saying stuff about the refs, and he was just had good answers to it. So I appreciate that. I hate when dudes ask dumb questions.
Yeah, no, I like Kelsey. I like a lot of the players on the Chiefs. That's the thing. I just cannot stand Patrick Mahomes. I can't. It just bothers me.
I think it'd be the same way if somebody else, especially them winning, losing, and then winning three in a row potentially. Like if somebody comes in and wins three straight, I think people would uh support it. But just anybody with that level of success, people are gonna hate on them.
No, yeah, for sure.
Just the way things go.
That's how the world works. You're frozen. You've been rather frozen for quite a second here, but that happened earlier too, so it's fine. Um, but anyways, like the issue is that um I'm fine with the Chiefs winning. I'm fine with them doing their thing. That's great. You can't really hate on that. It's just I think the media ruins it, honestly. Um, it's like when something gets shoved down your fucking throat so long, it's just like you're just like, dude, I don't really care about it. You know what I mean? Um, I did the same thing with, well, I hate Alabama. I have every right to hate Alabama. Um, because, you know, Rocky Top, we beat Bama. But um Georgia, I hate Georgia too. So Clemson is the only one I'm going to talk about, and I still have a right to hate them because Notre Dame. But like, I got sick and tired. You get sick and tired of seeing the same fucking team win every year. You know what I mean?
See, but the thing is, you never hear anybody say how they're sick of the Bulls winning, in their peak, and even people with the Yankees. I think it's just
MJ's
that's,
likable, bro, because MJ's a likable
but it's
human
this
being.
is all pre-social media era, so we didn't have uh media, we didn't have posts every now and then, we didn't have Mahomes on Sports Center every day the way
Because
we
that's
had.
that's literally my issue with it. I do not care about any of it. It's the
But
fact that it's like, oh my God, something happens, you see it a gajillion times on your fucking feed, and it's like, dude,
if
I do not care that Patrick Mahomes wiped his ass after taking a shit. It does not fucking matter to me because we all fucking do it. So like, just because he giggled at a fucking joke Travis made doesn't mean that they're fuck buddies, all right? You don't need to talk about it like that. Like, who the fuck cares? I saw a video of Travis getting on a fucking golf cart and Patrick Mahomes did something after he got on the golf cart. No one gives a fuck, all right? Like I don't care. This isn't MTV Cribs. I don't need to see every fucking thing they do. That does not need to be fucking televised, all right? Tell me the stats, give me the numbers, show me the fucking highlights. That's all I need. I don't need to know, oh my God, Patrick Mahomes withstood this dramatic thing. No one fucking cares, dude. Like, just let's talk
if
football.
if any of these other dynasties we had happen now, they'd have the same coverage and everybody'd hate them to the same level.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I
And I'm
think
telling
that
you, it's
what I'm saying is that's I think why. It's like it's like it's oversaturated. It's like, dude,
oh, I get it, but it's just I think it's unfair to what's happening.
no, it is 100%. Because that like as much as I don't want the Chiefs to win, it shouldn't be dismissed that a three-peat has never been done. and it's completely difficult. It's incredibly think about the dynasties that didn't get the three-peat. You know what I mean? Like some
Oh yeah.
really fucking good dynasties have not been able to get the three-peat, like 49ers, the Steelers at one point, I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
Cowboys, like
Patriots.
Patriots, they weren't able to
Bills
get
went to
the three-peat.
four straight and couldn't even win
Yeah,
one.
they went to four straight Super Bowls and didn't win a single one of them.
And
And
this is to win three. And especially, I just like to think about it, not to get off topic on some Chiefs stuff, but more of the I don't know. I feel like the players there, the team players and teams they're beating, I don't know. They feel stronger than like just to go back to like the New England days than those teams. Like I feel like Brady was always competing with Manning, or you just look at the AFC that Mahomes has gone through with Lamar winning his MVPs, Burrow, breaking up the one streak of how many times Mahomes has gone to the Super Bowl, and then you have Josh Allen in there who's
yeah,
constantly been the little brother, I guess, always losing to him in the playoffs.
yeah,
But I don't know, just compared to I guess back when Brady was doing it, like as an AFC East fan, AFC East was god awful for that run. And now AFC East has been one of the better divisions past couple of years, at least once the Dolphins have, became relevant and then the end of Brady that the Chiefs knocked out. And then just some of the other guys, and then now with Stroud in there and Herbert was a, top quarterback compared to dudes in those days. And we had Ryan Tannehill starting on a 500 team. The end of Roethlisberger's career, they weren't a threat. Joe Flacco was one of the better guys in the AFC, and he's wasn't to the level of Joe Burrow.
yeah.
So,
I had a thought process, but it's
and
eluded
then
me.
the NFC as well. Like the Niners have been, uh, they'll be beaten once in this run for Kansas City, but uh, complete super team. Like we think about it in basketball, but look what they've done with just adding superstars. Yeah, but credit to where credit's due to pulling Brock Purdy out of nowhere, but just the trading for McCaffrey and all that stuff. If it was
Yeah.
the NBA, we'd flip out about it.
Well, and see, that's actually what I was thinking is you were talking about the how impressive it is that the Chiefs have been able to do what they've done against the teams that they play. But if you think about what they've done with the team that they have, it's fairly impressive
Yes,
as well. Like
they haven't
um,
been the best roster.
they're not, yeah. Now they're not short of any studs. Like they have studs where you need to have studs. They have really good offensive line, and they have a really good defensive line, and like Chris Jones kind of leads that. But like they don't
Yes,
have like
they don't
studs.
have the names.
Yeah, they don't have those
They
big names
They
like
make the hard decisions like perfectly. Like they let Tyreek go at the perfect time. They
yep,
knew that's not valuable enough to pay him. They let L'Jarius Sneed go after last year. They knew it
yep,
wasn't super like replaceable guys. And they paid the guy that matters. You're not going to find another Kelsey. Obviously, you can't find another Mahomes, and you're not going to find somebody as valuable as Chris Jones. So you pay those guys, and you spend the money, and you hit on draft picks, and that's what they've done.
they
Now,
have
honestly,
done
they
really
haven't
well
even
draft.
hit on draft picks crazy lately.
They've
Uh,
done really well with draft
like
picks.
Edwards Hilaire has been a bust.
He was a bust, but
Worthy
Pacheco was
is
great.
I don't think Worthy is like Worthy is good, but he's not
Worthy's
hasn't
good. He's
I
not
wouldn't say
first round great though. Yeah, no,
I
I
wouldn't
don't think
say yeah.
he's been good and he's contributed quite a bit to him, but I don't know if he's like
They don't have polls like Amon Ra where he was drafted
yeah.
or like stuff like that, I guess what I mean.
But they get scheme fits. They get these players that just fit
Yes.
what they
They
do.
know what they
That's
want. They
why.
know what they need them to do. They have
Exactly.
they're very good at doing their jobs over there.
No, yeah, for sure, which you have to respect.
Which is why they're so frustrating. People hate on them because they like the stuff that gets called for them whether it's, soft penalties or not, like roughing the passers and defensive holdings and DPI, stuff like that, they're very good at not committing those.
No, yeah, they don't do it.
Because
Um,
I feel like
some
other
of it is
quarterbacks hit
valid to
some.
get frustrated about. I think like Patrick Mahomes when he lets up trying to bait a hit, that's kind of
Oh
frustrating.
yeah,
Um,
yes.
the Pat, see, it's tough because like I want to say Patrick Mahomes gets favored a little bit with some of the roughing the passers, and maybe he does, but that's just the game now. Like the game itself
He's
is
stared at more than other quarterbacks. Everybody gets the same call. He's just watched more.
yeah, exactly, and yeah, honestly, yeah, that's a great point. Um, but like there's certain things, and then other penalties is kind of like it's people hating on the Chiefs for being the Chiefs, like the lack of defensive penalties or whatever. Um,
But they
and
don't commit those penalties.
I get
Like
it
they
because
just
like
don't.
when what'd you say?
The Chiefs, they just don't commit those penalties.
Oh yeah, they're disciplined, which
Like
is that wins
they
games. It's huge.
when they played the Dolphins 2 times last year, they took Tyreek out of both games. They made him basically score a touchdown on the Dolphins when they played in Germany. It is like they usually Tyreek Hill gets held just because of his speed. They did not.
Hmm.
They're very good about that.
Yeah. And that'll win games. Honestly, that's the biggest. That's one of the biggest, most important parts of it is staying disciplined because those penalties will add up, and it'll kill you internally, and then it's almost like you're just stabbing yourself internally, and then you can't slow the bleed. So those are big to watch, and if you have a team that doesn't commit penalties like that, then they're normally going to see a lot of success. But like back to what we were saying, like what the Chiefs front office has done is really impressive. And then also
They
being
made a
able to
very tough
retain the
decision.
coordinators that they have, like that's also rather impressive. Keeping them in-house, keeping everybody there, making it so people don't have to leave.
They're like a well-run college program.
Yeah, like a very
Like
well
I
run.
feel like it's very much how Bama was. It's like not as not as noteworthy things. They're not like as far as like coaching goes. Like they're not Lane Kiffin screaming in the media. You
Yeah,
know what
but
I
I don't
mean?
like that shit because that doesn't win. You know what I mean? Like I Nick Saban was like, well, I'll talk about Nick Saban real quick. Like he was one of those guys that I didn't like because he was good, but I respected Nick Saban. Like
Yeah.
I was
Hey,
like,
Andy Reid's got to be in the same category.
yeah, oh yeah, he's the NFL version, I'd say. But like that's the
Yes.
thing. And then like with Nick Saban now that he's not on a powerhouse Alabama, like Nick Saban's a phenomenal coach, and the way he ran Alabama was so perfect. And I think so many people need to start, not need to do exactly what he did, but they need to take a page out of his book and run it like that. Like Lane Kiffin runs Ole Miss like it's a fucking circus, and he just cares about getting impressions and eyes on the school. And it's like that's great, but Nick Saban did the same fucking thing by getting eyes on the school, but he didn't run a circus. He just won, and
Yeah.
winning gets eyes no matter what.
You
Legit,
always need
they're
guys
not
like
a
that.
like you talked about this. I don't know when you talk. I don't know if you talked about it on an episode or what, but the Chiefs are not a big market team. They're in the middle
No.
of fucking Missouri. Like I mean, is a city, but it's Missouri. It's the middle of the United States. Yeah, they are probably the most. When you say name an NFL team, I bet you the Chiefs are probably named first 95% of the
Yeah,
time.
if you ask random idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
they share the same like lot as the Royals who consistently cry poverty in Major League Baseball.
exactly.
Like struggling to compete with, the Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, teams that spend money.
And that shows what winning does, like you could be in the media constantly, but nobody really gives a shit. Nobody cares about Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a joke. Maybe the
Yeah.
AP poll ranks
Yeah.
them high, and dumbasses on Twitter that have no fucking clue what they're talking about says that Ole Miss is gonna go to the playoffs until the end, and even they say they're still snubbed. But like, but nobody else that actually knows what the fuck's going on is intimidated by Ole
You
Miss.
need a team like Ole Miss though to just irritate everybody.
No, yeah, they get everybody going, but it's just like it's
And that's like one of my biggest like things I'm like proud of myself on and like being a sports fan is like I've grown to appreciate like the great players that usually you'd hate just because of how good they are. Like Saban, I always hated younger me, but then like the end of his time, I like grew to appreciate him. I always felt the same way with Belichick and Brady once they split up, and I like wasn't hating him as a Dolphins fan, just like wow, these guys were really good, especially when Belichick won with Mac Jones, and then watching how pathetic he turned out to be, um, and then just Brady going to win another Super Bowl, like the guys I always hated because of they always beat my team and it just bothered you. Then to grow up and realize, wow, this is really impressive. No one else can do this. And so I feel like that's kind of the same with Kansas City, that everybody else just has to get over it and realize this is impressive.
Yeah, no, that's a valid point. Hopefully, I can
Yeah.
get over Patrick Mahomes because, like I said earlier, that's the only issue I have with the
The,
Chiefs.
the guys you should hate on is like Lane Kiffin, who's just obnoxious to the sport. And even Philly wins, I'll be like, Philly is good, I will admit it. Like, and Hurts isn't obviously he's not terrible. He's an NFL quarterback reaching his second Super Bowl. It's more just their play style and Sirianni that bothers me. Um, But they did break the one trend of quarterbacks who lose their first Super Bowl tend to not get back. Jalen Hurts did break that. Joe Burrow still got that curse haunting him.
Yeah, I hope Joe Burrow wins one. I like Joe Burrow. Big fan of Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Joe. I used to hate on Joe Burrow. He's starting to grow on me.
No, I've been a big fan of Joe Burrow since LSU year. Like when I found out about him, I'm like I like Joe Burrow.
I
He's
just yeah, I'm not a fan. See, Ed Orgeron to me was
swagger.
Lane
But
Kiffin. He was
yeah, he's
obnoxious.
a fucking idiot. But
And that was that Burrow team. Like he didn't deserve a national title. He just happened to have the greatest team of college football of recent history.
that's like Ryan Day, honestly, in my opinion.
Exactly, and that's why it's not hate to well hate to Will Howard, but it's not hate to like the rest of the dudes on Ohio State. It's hate to the dude who's getting appreciated for not doing much.
Yeah, literally. But everybody will find out
Andy Reid
When
makes
Ohio State loses
great
2 games
decisions to
next
win
year and they
titles.
struggle in the playoffs. It's gonna be, they'll figure it out. They'll probably. I'm calling it right now. I think Penn State beats Ohio State next year. Telling you
I
right.
think Columbus.
That's in Columbus. All right, I might have taken that back now, but um, if it was in if it was in Penn State,
That's why this year was supposed to be their year.
well, I mean, every year is Penn State's year. If you ask
It
Penn
was like
State,
it actually lined up for it to be this
well,
year.
it actually could have been this year. They're Penn State.
It should have been.
But
They had a pick six and did
yeah,
nothing with it.
they had the game. It's kind of like
Scored nine
Notre
points on
Dame.
offense.
With Notre Dame, they could have won. They should have been in the national championship realistically, but they weren't. So
I mean, I could not have stood that.
yeah,
I
like
never want to see another conference rematch in the national championship, especially in this 12 team era where it could be like not the conference championship. Ohio
yeah,
State's the only team to not win a conference championship, lose to a rival, and lose to an unranked opponent and win a national championship.
and that's called a useless. That's called the useless
And
organization.
they want to say it's the toughest title because they played two extra games, or actually really only one extra game because they didn't play the extra game you're supposed to play to win your conference. But
Yeah, and then they
they
played a
got a
home
free home
game.
game.
Then they played a fucking home game, and then they played
Yep.
a team fresh off of a bye, and then they played Texas, and then Notre Dame. I'd say Texas was their first real good win in the playoffs, even though
They
they beat the number one team.
didn't play a conference champion, is that correct? Yeah, or just
Yeah, they
Oregon.
played
Just
Oregon.
Oregon. Just
Yeah,
Oregon. Yeah. Still.
but
Wow.
it's fucking ridiculous.
Anyways, I got one stat that I didn't read off in my rant earlier. Teams to score 40 plus points in conference championships are 3-7 in the Super Bowl. Eagles 50 bomb last week. So just another thing to support the three-peat and Kansas City money line happening.
There you go. Um, Pretty hyped to see what happens here. If the three peats, you're not gonna see a rant out of me next week if the Chiefs win. I'll probably bitch a
No,
little bit because I
I
hate
feel like
Patrick.
it's good either way. Like, is it we have three-peat or three-peat broken up, Eagles win first.
Yeah, I would love to see the Eagles win, but I wouldn't,
There's,
see a
well,
three.
I mean, it's the Super Bowl. There's always going to be quality storylines, but it's not like, I don't know. I feel like I root for them to win three. Didn't really care for them to win two. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I'm gonna hate on you going back to back, but if you're trying to do the unbreakable, the undone thing, going back to back to back, then it's like, all right, I'm on your side now.
yeah.
Makes sense.
And then I'm curious to see how long it takes a reporter to ask them if they're going for four after the Super Bowl, if assuming they win.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be dumb
I would
posts
assume it'd be
everywhere.
like as the confetti's falling, some stupid fucking reporter's gonna come out and ask them that. Uh,
I think I've seen reports of expecting people expect Travis to retire if they win. That'd be interesting. That'd
I
be
was
so.
gonna talk about that. We're running out of time. Um, but I was gonna ask like if you think Travis will retire if they win this because I didn't see those reports, but I've been thinking like I think he's probably due. Um,
Yeah, he's got a lot going on outside of football.
yeah, he's got a ton of shit going on outside of football.
But
And
he's one of like he'll be around like the
no,
same
yeah,
way Houston is. So
yeah,
like he's probably gonna make more once he stops playing football.
exactly. And it's like
So
I think he could play another year for sure, but you can just tell by watching him play that he's getting old. So it's like, does he, call it quits while he's on top?
he
Uh,
should.
I think he should, but
He doesn't need to stick around to be worse than he like. Not that he was super bad this season, but he doesn't need to stick around to be worse.
yeah, like
He's
he's not
certainly not
impressing
the same
anybody.
athlete. So
I don't think he's gonna ruin his career. He had an amazing career, like
no,
first
you
ballot
can't
Hall of Fame.
unless you're
But
Justin Tucker.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, but like I think he had an incredible career. But I just think it's if they win it, especially, I think you should hang it up.
Yeah.
He's broken records. It's all I'm pretty sure he's broken all the Chiefs records when it comes to tight ends. He's passed Tony
I
Gonzalez in
believe so. And
everything.
they had Tony Gonzalez, so it wasn't
Yeah,
like
he's
a
passed Tony Gonzalez in literally everything.
easy record.
So.
Like
Um,
Jonnu Smith set a record for tight ends for the Dolphins this year, and it was like just a sad record. It was like 7 touchdowns.
yeah, that's crazy.
It's I don't know, it's something. But I'm excited. I am excited for Kendrick at halftime.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens
I
there.
think that's one of those ones you just like we enjoy it as younger people, and it's just funny to hear all the dads complaining about this me type of music being on.
Yeah.
Do you know what's gonna happen?
Oh, 100%, 100%.
What is this? What is I liked Eminem. I knew that one.
Yeah.
And all that garbage.
But those are our bets. That's what we think will happen. You guys got quite a few good rants out of us. We didn't, or not rants, but just tangents. We didn't necessarily think we were gonna get those tangents out of ourselves today, but we
It's just
did.
every podcast we talk about what we're gonna do, and then somehow it always ends in a hating on Ohio State.
As it should, honestly. It should end, or that should be included in the podcast at some point. It probably will do. It'll be like that for quite some time until Ohio State stops winning.
And
Uh,
then they'll lose again, and it'll be great.
Yeah, like literally,
Come back.
their first loss. You guys wait, their first loss next season. I could make a 40-minute fucking episode of just me talking shit about Ohio State, which actually would probably happen. So,
It,
um,
it probably
it
will.
actually would probably be longer. So, expect that. Um, Fingers crossed for that to be early in the season so I can get it out of the way, but we'll see. Um, but yeah, anyways, um, we'll see you guys. Ah, shit, I don't even know when we'll make our recap.
After the Super Bowl, of course.
Yeah, we'll see it after the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna give you a date yet. I don't really know. And then we're gonna have to get creative with it. Check out the fucking Twitter though, or the X, because a young lad has been going absolutely insane on the Twitter. He's been giving crazy good plays. I haven't been able to keep up with it as much the last couple of days because I've been busy, but when I was keeping up with it crazy, I was making some damn good money on basketball. So go follow the Twitter. Go keep up with the Twitter. Go check out what's going on over there. Um, and then we're also going to start making some NBA podcasts as this season comes to a close.
Yep.
I know
We
Kyle's
got
been.
one coming soon to recap all the bets we've been placing, but it's not going to be a podcast each night to talk about the NBA bets. You guys stay up to the Twitter, and then we'll talk about why and how they did, why we placed them and how they did the following week or so.
Yeah, so we'll basically compile a week into one episode, and that's kind of what we'll do. Um, So expect those to start coming out in the next week or two. I think Kyle said he might want to work on one. I don't know. Um, that's up to him. If he were to make one, it would be just him for the first one this week, but then after that, we'll both be here. Um, but yeah, so go check out the Twitter. Go follow us on Twitter. Kyle's gonna keep you guys updated. He'll give you some good ass bets. We'll see you guys with the recap of the Super Bowl. And some NBA bets, college basketball bets potentially. I don't know if that'll be after the recap probably. I'd assume. Um, but yeah, enjoy the Super Bowl. We'll see what happens. We'll either talk about history or we'll talk about Hurts getting his first
I'm
Super
calling
Bowl.
it a three-peat.
So Kyle's predicting the three-peat. I
Three.
think he convinced me. I'm ready for a three-peat here, but I'm gonna be so
Hey.
happy if the Eagles win too. So it is what it is. But we'll see you guys next time. All right.